Welcome back. My name is Aaron and this is the Law of One series, episode 8. Today's video will touch upon another central concept from the Law of One, which is the Mind-Body-Spirit Complex. Now, this is usually the first confusing term that people come across when reading the Law of One that leaves them feeling a bit confused. So, having an adequate understanding of what this concept means is very beneficial for understanding the raw material. So let's dive right into it and find out what Ra has to say about this topic. One of the first new concepts introduced in the Law of One material is the Mind-Body-Spirit Complex. Ra uses this term instead of the word person or people. This is simply because Ra speaks from a higher level of understanding of what a human being truly is. When the average person thinks of themselves, they think of themselves as a body. But according to Ra, the body is just the most outward manifestation of a much more intricate system that makes up a person. The first and most original essence of what we are is spirit. The spirit then projects itself into a mind, and the mind projects itself into a body. Ra explains that each one of these three components are equally valid and equally necessary. You cannot separate any of them apart, as each one relies upon the other in perfect unison. So you could see it like this. The mind is the activating agent of the spirit, and the body is the activating agent of the mind. The spirit needs a mind in which to experience thought, perception, and sensation. But the mind needs a body to plug itself into 3D reality in order to have these kinds of experiences. This is also the true meaning of the Christian doctrine of the Trinity. Christianity refers to God as three persons, the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. If we reorganize this correctly, we can see what each archetype represents. The Father representing the eternal unborn Spirit, the Holy Spirit representing the mind, and the Son representing the physical body. One God in three persons. This is a much misunderstood doctrine in Christianity because of how disconnected Christianity is from the metaphysical. In some Bible passages, there is also reference to the spirit, soul, and body, the soul being another word for mind. The spirit is that eternal essence of the Creator which is projected forth into space and time through the mind. Every spirit is an individuated unit or fraction of the Creator's consciousness. The spirit was never born and can never die. It simply merges back into the source once its evolutionary journey is complete. The purity and light of the spirit acts as a magnet that pulls the soul forward in its evolution, reaching always for the light, as a plant reaches for the light of the sun through the soil. The soul or mind of an entity is a vibrational frequency which goes on an evolutionary journey through countless lifetimes and incarnations. You could think of the soul as a work of art, a clay sculpture that the spirit is molding. Every soul is identical at the beginning of its journey, just as every lump of clay is identical before it is molded. Each incarnation acts as a movement of the potter's hands which shape the clay into a new form. Each incarnation brings new experiences, karma, and lessons to be learned. As the soul learns new lessons from each incarnation, it develops new biases and qualities, and the vibrational frequency of the soul increases. The faster the soul's vibration is, the quicker it will be to penetrate the veil of forgetting in third density and remember the lessons of love and wisdom. Finally, the body is the instrument through which the spirit and the soul can plug themselves into three-dimensional reality. At first density, the body is simply one of the four elements of earth, water, fire, and air. In second density, the body can range from microbial life all the way up through plant, insect, and animal life. In third density, we have human bodies with vastly greater capacity for self-awareness and intellectual understanding. In fourth density, the body becomes a mixture of biological and electromagnetic energy. In fifth density, the body is entirely made of electromagnetic energy and is able to be shaped by thought, as is also true in the sixth density, which then has an even greater capacity to travel through dimensions, time travel, and teleportation. All 7 densities require a body through which to physically exist in space and time and evolve the soul. Without a body, the the soul and spirit could not have any experience or evolution. This means that the body, although the final manifestation of the three, is equally as important as the soul and the spirit for the Creator to know itself. Thus we have the Holy Trinity of the Mind-Body-Spirit Complex. Now, when it comes to the body, Ra has some interesting things to say about how the physical vehicle is basically a manifestation of the density in which it is formed. So, although Earth recently made the switch from third to fourth density in 2012, we're still inhabiting yellow ray bodies from the third density. But now that the planetary frequency is fourth density, the evolution of human biology will begin to transition into the green ray. And how long this transition will take to complete is unknown. But my guess would be probably somewhere around a few 100,000 years. Ra states that the average fourth density life cycle of a planet is around 30 million years. So for the foreseeable future, the human body will be a mixture of yellow ray and green ray, but moving ever closer towards a full green ray manifestation. In session 30, Ra says that the body is the material of the density in which you experience. So to get a better understanding of what this means, let's take a closer look at what Ra has to say about it. Every creature in time and space contains 7 energy bodies, one for each chakra, and the one that manifests physically is determined by the density of that being. The energy bodies above that chakra remain available in potential in the non-physical. For example, when you dream at night or astral project, you are using your indigo ray or pineal gland body. Your physical yellow ray body cannot travel through these astral dimensions, but the indigo ray body can. This indigo ray body is what a 6th density being possesses natively, which is why they can navigate through time and space the way that we can in a lucid dream. Every animal, plant, insect, cell, and yes, even atom contains 7 energy centers, although most of them lie dormant. In session 3, Ra states, "Much as your mind-body-spirit complex dwells within an hierarchy of vehicles and retains therefore the shell or shape or field and the intelligence of each ascendingly intelligent or balanced body, so does each atom of such material as rock." So an ant, for example, has 7 energy centers just like us, yet only the first 2 are activated, while the other 5 lie in potential. An ant would not be able to activate its yellow ray energy center unless it became self-aware as humans are. Likewise, we humans have centers 1 through 3 activated by nature, but unlocking the 4th energy center is our opportunity in this lifetime. The red, orange, and yellow are the primal energy centers, while the green serves as the first spiritual energy center. Because of this, the blue, indigo, and violet rays are unavailable until the green ray is unlocked. Ra explains that the green ray can only be activated by transcending the belief in separation and seeing all beings as the creator. This is universal love. This recognition does not take place conceptually, but intuitively. In session 32, Ra states, "Once the green ray has been achieved, the ability of the entity to enter blue ray is immediate and is only awaiting the efforts of the individual. The indigo ray is opened only through considerable discipline and practice, largely having to do with acceptance of self, not only as the polarized or balanced self, but as the creator, as an entity of infinite worth. This will begin to activate the indigo ray." So we can summarize the 7 energy centers by saying this. The red ray is the foundational ray for all 7 densities. The orange ray is activated by growth and movement of the body, which we can call awareness. The yellow ray is the great stepping stone that potentiates the mind and body, and is activated through self-awareness. The green ray is the first spiritual ray and is activated by universal love. The blue ray is the wisdom ray, activated by self-knowledge and truthful expression. We can call this authenticity. The indigo ray is activated by self-acceptance. We can call this empowerment. And lastly, The violet ray does not have any specific function, as it is simply the gateway to intelligent infinity and serves as the barometer of the previous 6 energy centers and the register of the true vibration of that entity. When all of these energy centers are perfectly balanced with one another, the mind-body-spirit complex becomes what Ra calls a crystallized entity. One more interesting note Ra explains is that since the first energy center serves simply as the foundation and the 7th serves simply as the barometer, higher density beings such as Ra only count the orange through indigo rays as functioning energy centers, as the other 2 serve as the bookends for the energy body. So from Ra's perspective, the numbering of the rays begins at orange ray, yellow being the 2nd, green being the 3rd, blue being the 4th, and indigo being the 5th. Now, there is no right or wrong way to order the energy centers. The important part is understanding what their function is, how to unlock them, and begin doing work in each one of them to move closer and closer towards becoming a fully crystallized entity. So, as you can see, the 7 energy centers help to make up the physical and energetic bodies of the mind-body-spirit complex and act as the instruments through which the soul learns its lessons, evolves, and increases its vibration. Now, the Law of One has a lot more to say about this topic than can be covered in one video. But hopefully this at least gives you a sufficient overview to understand this topic a little bit better. But the message that I hope you take away from this video is that we are all vastly more complex, mysterious, and intelligently designed than any one of us can comprehend. We not only live within a marvelous universe, but each and every one of us is a marvelous universe that is helping to give the Creator a unique and beautiful new experience of itself. Most of our suffering in this lifetime comes from the belief that I am just this physical body. This is the ego's primary belief system that keeps us trapped in separation and blocks us from opening the heart chakra and experiencing the universal love that is our true nature. But if you can transcend this limited belief, then you can begin to know yourself on a much deeper level and begin to see that the physical body is simply the most outward manifestation of what you truly are. The body acts as the vehicle that carries your soul and spirit through this lifetime. So it is equally valid and it is to be honored, but it is not to be worshipped or pedestalized. All this can ever do for you is create suffering, because you are not anything with form or appearance. You are holy, you are eternal, and you are divine from top to bottom. And with that being said, I'll leave you now, as always, with one final quote from Ra. I would like to know how the mind-body-spirit complexes originate. Going back as far as necessary, how do they originate by spirit forming mind and mind forming body? Can you tell me this? I am Ra. We ask you to consider that you are attempting to trace evolution. This evolution is, as we have previously described, the consciousness being first, in first density, without movement, a random thing. Whether you may call this mind or body complex is a semantic problem. We call it mind-body complex, recognizing always that in the simplest iota of this complex exists in its entirety the one infinite creator. This mind-body-spirit complex then, in second density, discovering the growth and turning towards the light, thus awakening what you may call the spirit complex, that which intensifies the upward spiraling towards the love and light of the infinite creator. The addition of this spirit complex, though apparent rather than real, having existed potentially from the beginning of space-time, perfects itself by graduation into third density. When the mind-body-spirit complex becomes aware of the possibility of service to self or other self, then the mind-body-spirit complex is activated.